Hey, welcome back to Jordan Samuel Skin Talks. I'm urgently trying to film these videos because I actually really like the natural light I get in here. I like it better than the light I've used previously. I also like it because it's truly my skin with natural light. Like there's no like filter. But anyway, but the light's going down, the cats are fighting, I just fed them. Where were we? Oh, we talked about that, You know what, let's talk about this. Let's talk about exfoliation, because I love talking about exfoliation. I talk about it all the time, because I think, for the most part now, people over-exfoliate. There's still people that under-exfoliate, but I do think for the most part, people over-exfoliate. I also believe there is many more issues with over-exfoliation than under-exfoliation. You know, the skin's gonna look a little bit dull, there's gonna be some congestion, but you're not gonna have the inflammation, the irritation, the possible inflammatory breakouts, the redness, the sun sensitivity that you get from over-exfoliating, the thinning of the skin, etc., etc. I'm gonna sip. So with exfoliation, again, like I've talked about with cleansing, just because somebody says like you have to do this and you have to use this type of product and you have to use it every day, no you don't. Because they don't know your skin, unless they do know your skin, then whatever. But chances are they don't know your skin, it's somebody online. And it's great general information. Same with me, it's great general information, but for you it could be something completely different. So actually this summer my skin has been the best it has been in so long, and I don't even want to tell you because I did like absolutely nothing to it. I used my matinee cleanser AM and PM. I use Hydrate AM and PM. I use Supergoop Everyday SPF 50 AM. And a lot of it because we were in Italy, so like slather, slather, slather. And then at night, I used the Performance Cream or nothing. I just use Hydrate. Scandalous. And I exfoliate it in 3 or 4 weeks. No, I guess in 4 weeks. In 4 weeks, I exfoliate it twice. With James Scrivener's Skinfoliate. So an acid toner, super gentle acid toner, but effective. Very effective. And that was it. And my skin was super happy, and then I'm like, oh my god, right, yeah, exactly. First of all, I think there is salicylic in the matinee, but again, it's a wash-off product, it's in such a minimal amount, you like, it's doing, the cats, I feel like you're gonna see a cat in a second. They've been like super chill for a week, and now this second is when they're gonna act up. Anyway, so you hear about acids and toners, and acids and serums, and acids and creams, and acids and cleansers, and acids and masks, and what's right for you, and what shouldn't you do. So, I guess I'll work backwards. The most effective acids to me are the leave-on acids, right? Of course, they stay on your skin the longest, they're removing the dead cell, they're clearing out the pore, they're stimulating the fibroblast cells. That is what they're meant to do. They're meant to stay on the skin and do their work. Great. However, sometimes like for me, like I could maybe handle a leave-on acid like once a week. I think they're great. I'm playing around with my own right now to try to find the perfect balance of something that could possibly work. But, that was an ugly face. But it's something that I just have not found like the right fit for my skin. Like a low-level acid that I can use every day or more frequently left on. Acid toners rarely work for me. Again, they have to be super, super gentle. Skinfoliate works for me, but it doesn't work for me in the amounts, or the amount of times you can use it per week, or that is suggested to use per week. Same with Paula's Choice 2% BHA, same thing. So again, don't let anybody, so my skin is super smooth, happy, healthy. I think it has a glow. I don't want to sound super annoying, but I mean, the last time I exfoliated was with a leave-on, like a month ago. Matinee has salicylic in it. Again, I'll use a washcloth. There's exfoliation happening, but again, that goes back to the point of like all those things are lightly exfoliating. So if you're doing all of those things all the time, plus some more intense exfoliating, you're wondering why your skin's raw, red, irritated, bumpy, blah, 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 blah. You could be over exfoliating. I mean, chances are you are. I hate to say that, but just in this day and age of acids and scrubs and washcloths and double cleansing, you're using a washcloth, you're exfoliating, you're cleansing with a cleanser that has an acid in it, you're using an acid serum or an acid cream or a mask with an acid, you're getting facials, which is gonna have professional strength acids in them. Like, there's a lot going on. But something that I really love in terms, so to go back to and to talk a little bit more about products, the Alpha Beta Peel by Dr. Gross, I know we all know and for the most part love this, but do they even still have the Ultra Gentle Peel? I'm holding this up because I hoarded this when they came out with the Ultra Gentle and it worked on my skin because the regular was lovely and I got it and it made sense to me. It just, my skin was like, okay, once a month is great. Then I got this and this was, I can't use it every day, but it was great. So I hoarded it, so I have a ton of it. I'm holding this up now realizing it's probably discontinued because chances are it is, and most things I like are. Especially for sensitive skin. But I cannot warn you enough to go gentler on the exfoliation and slightly build up as time goes on. There is no need to go gangbusters and jump in 100% right away and then backtrack of like, oh my God, my skin's inflamed. Oh my God, my skin's irritated. Oh my God, my skin's sensitive. Water hurts it, cleansers hurt it. I can't use my retinols anymore. I can't use my acids anymore. The mask hurts it. You want to get that dead skin off. You want to clear out those pores. You want to have that fresh. It's 2019. Let's bring that fresh, healthy, vibrant skin to the surface. You want to be stimulating those fibroblast cells, but you have to find the right way for you. And again, don't go chasing waterfalls. You need to find what works for you. Is it a cleanser with a good percentage of acid in it? And that little bit is enough to remove that dead cell, to not oversensitize. I know that's not going to be giving you the possible exact result you want, but it's a great starting place. And usually what happens too, and I see this in my practice, and I have seen this on myself, is that you over-exfoliate to a point of that barrier is just broken down. You get that barrier back like a little bit, not like all the way, but enough. And then so you jump back into the exfoliation game and you're doing the facials with the acid peels and you're doing your at-home acid peels and you're doing cleansers with acids and you're doing X, Y, and Z. You're using a washcloth and then it sort of goes back there. So you want to get that barrier back and then pepper it back in super, super gently and super, super like once in a while. I find that people don't wear enough sunscreen who use a ton of acids or who use a ton of retinols. That's not pointing a finger, and it is a generalization, but the amount of acids and the amount of retinols and the strength that people use compared with the lack of SPF is not a good thing. It's another inflammatory response. It's another like, you're still, regardless of how you look at it, you're still bringing fresh cells to the surface. So the sun is now coming down and creating this sort of like, this other like experience. It's just too much for the skin. Anyway, so with exfoliation, if I have any suggestions, it is to go slow, to be consistent, to not overdo it, to check your cleansers, to check your serums, to check your creams, to check your masks, to make sure your washcloth is blah, 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 blah. But all of those things are exfoliating. So if you are doing too much of, if you're doing a little bit of all of that, it's probably too much for most. And the skin will eventually end up being surface dehydrated, red, blotchy, uneven skin tone, hot to the touch, sensitive to ingredients. I mean, that's another thing. Do we really want to get into it? Let's get into it. We have some time. But I find, so, no, I will just say, I have had a lot of like comments and feedback from customers, which is great, but then I don't want them to have, like, it sounds like I'm being an ass. I'm trying not to be. And I'm not being, it's actually from my own experience. But there are certain ingredients, and I'm not gonna say because I don't wanna like set everything on fire and then people go throwing out the products, but that my skin is sensitive to if I've over-exfoliated or over-retinoled, which makes sense, of course, but it is not something we think about. So if you've been, even if you've been on like a Retin-A and your skin is totally balanced, you're not peeling, you're not red, you're not really thinking like of that, but you're still, it's inactive and that you're still using that, it's still like stimulating the skin, and then you use a product which you think should be a little bit gentler and it stings the skin a bit. Both are issues because yes, you are reacting to the product, obviously. However, your chances are you're reacting to the product because of your use of actives and your retinol use and your possible over-exfoliation. Because I've personally had that where I've used brands' products where I've put them on and been like, oh my God, this is burning my face. Oh my God, this is burning my face. I need to remove it. Removed it, whatever. For whatever reason, picked it up again months later when I had stopped the acid exfoliation and had stopped X, Y, and Z. And this is even lab samples from my lab of my own products. And then I use it, I'm like, oh, my skin loves this. And I'm like, oh, right, you're not using acids or retinols anymore. So it's a little food for thought when you think like something should be super gentle or like, oh, this product made me red. Yeah, it could be making you red. There's absolutely no doubt about that. You can be sensitive or allergic to something in it. So don't like be like, no, it's just because I'm doing this. However, if you have had a very recent past of over-exfoliating, overusage of retinols, or high strength of either one of those, and it's maybe just, and even if you feel comfortable, it could be. So again, don't necessarily toss everything and say everything's bad because it might not be. It might just be that your skin's a little surface sensitive, a little sensitized, and it is reacting to all of those things. Okay? So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. I hope you exfoliate with health and caution in the new year. And until next time, thank you for watching. Bye.